This is the McDonald's one. It's all white. Oh, so your resin models come in bags like this, and then you open it up, and then you check it to make sure, all right, how's the scope look? How's the tolerance? Tolerance means like how big the joints are and stuff. That wasn't my job. So, but this is Bot Shot's hot rod, and I don't. Jimmy Sorensen and I were trying to figure out hot rod never came out, right? No. That was bad. Bot Shot's hot rod. Energon. This was for Universe. This was the Energon Megatron for Universe. There's the other one's called the Santa Prime. It's red, and then the limbs are all black, and for some reason we got to call it Santa Prime. Yeah. Oh, it gets better. There's I got a cool story about this. We had one version of him in the box. One version fully done in the box. I'm looking over at Eric's office. Eric's even out. He moved offices. I'm like, hey, where's that Jetwing Optimus? It's like, oh, I gave a kid an Optimus Prime. Oh. So some little kid out there in the island got to open the only Jetwing animated Optimus Prime to play with. Awesome. You know what? Toys are meant to be played with. This is Most Wanted. Hunt for the Decepticons. Don't hunt for Devastator because you won't find him here. There's only 4 dudes. I can't tell you why. I don't understand. But you cannot form Devastator with only 4 guys. I don't know why. So, and I have no idea where this was supposed to come out. This might have been a Target exclusive. Human Alliance. It's cool. Yeah, with that laser. This actually ended up coming out for Takara, but not a whole lot of US versions in the package. That's the back of it. Great figure. Oh, so this is part of that hallway thing I was telling you about. It looks like there's a toy in there. It's a lot. That's the side of it. There's smoke and mirrors. That's the back. Yep. Packaged Robot Heroes. Ricochet. Predacons. Oh, I got it. You guys are gonna hate me. So this never came out, right? This was the Demolition Rumble for Revealed Shield. Basic figure. Me and all my genius decided, hey, I'm gonna call the factory halfway through production. And I'm going to have them change the name on the card to Frenzy. And then that whole assortment I got. I just wanted to mess with you guys so much. More Robot Hero stuff. Oh, Deathsaurus, yeah. He was called Des Sanders, I think this one. Yeah. Who can tell me what's up with this? Right, the Transmetal Eraser, repainted for line. Armada. What's wrong with it? Yeah. This is just funny. Optimus. This is that big Optimus that Takara didn't work on that has been so proud of. I mean, there's so many different pieces on this. This is from the first movie, that huge bumblebee. My voice is in, I think, the Revenge of the Fallen one. That's Rat Trap. Oddly enough, the prototype also does not stand up. So it was a design flaw from the script. This was great because you guys know Joe Cog. You were doing that. Joe Cog's a brilliant man. He very nice person. He works at Lego now, he got the Optimus Prime Lego. Overcharge. How perfect is it? They're dancing, look at Jazzy dancing. Some of these are pretty basic. Unleashed Transformers. I think only the Megatron, Optimus, and Bumblebee came out. So this was Jazz and Ratchet. Unleashed. And this is Blackout and everyone's favorite, Faraday. Should start with those ones. There was a whole line. Remember the Riplums? You guys know RPMs. There was a whole line of RPMs that were going to come with characters, and I'm like, we're gonna get some cool characters in there, some prime characters in there. That's the only evidence that that whole thing ever existed. That thing is about 1.5 inches tall. So the reason these are these colors, at one point in time, the factories in China were trying to spray paint test colors, different colors based on where they were produced in the factory to try and track down where they were coming, who the leakers were. It didn't work. This, I should have deleted. This actually ended up coming out through Takara. But originally it was going to be Hasbro, Wheeljack. There was also a Soundwave, Deluxe Soundwave, retooled into Blaster. Even in that color, it looks sad. This is another gray model. These things are super fragile, and if you look at it wrong, they're just going to fall apart. Not a whole lot of these are out there in the wild. That is the from Revenge of the Fallen, Optimus and Jetfire combined. You know, the one you press the Autobot symbol and it makes noise. He says maximize. This is that Bumblebee. This is the actual resin copy, painted. It just does not want to live. I mean, and I think this one's staying together better than the actual toy. This is the Devastator. The battery pack, we at the time had not figured out how to put the battery pack inside the figure. So I don't remember if this one actually came out with noise. I know it had a special feature where you would, it did have noise? Yes, okay. So somewhere there's batteries in it. But that's the battery pack. Yeah. Oh, so I wanted to get those Blackout, Bumblebee, all the other guys that got released. I wanted to get them out in like season 3, like, hey, maybe each episode comes with like a robot, right? And you collect all the robots and you get all of season 3, and they're like, nah. I'm like, all right, well, we should give them the front up. Nah, because we might put them out with it. I tried. But we don't do a lot of 3D printing in-house. That's where by the time when I was there. But these guys were 3D printed. Transformersprime, and then I don't think they ever came with this little energon sled. Did they? No. So there's a little energon sled with energon cube that they were supposed to come with. Who's that? It's Frenzy? Oh, who's that? I'll give you $1 if you tell me where that's from. Who's that? Who's your yeah. So I don't know why you came out of Scam Shadow, but it was always supposed to be Blue Street. Don't know what happened. Probably a case of people going, I don't understand. Back in 2005, Aaron Archer was just handing these out at a convention. Just funky color guys. Blue guys. These are the energon providers. It's all red. Red. It says not for sale on it. It doesn't say not for stealing. Oh, what's up with this guy? Right, the weapon is painted. Yes. On the packaging, it shows the weapon is painted. That was the one that was featured on the packaging. The actual one has not painted. Why? I don't know. It's just a sample card. Action Masters. You know, make sure it's going to print correctly. Evil Predacon Dragonfire. Yeah. So this was a test card to see how the card was going to look through the eye, right? Here's another one about the eye. And this one. Here's his heroic maximal Dragonfire. And just funky color guys. That's Igmonus. Who's that? Is that Wheeljack or is it Silent? That's a Deco Master. There's a cool thing with this, but it's out of order. Anyway, a Deco Master. This is how we would delineate Deco Masters in the office. We put a piece of tape on it and write Deco Master. So we know, all right, that's the one. That's what we play. And if we didn't have stickers, we would just print stuff out and have paste on the bigger. That's a little resume gun. That's cheaper. I want to leave that chef class. Sometimes things shrink during production. On the left, you have the present model, and on the right, you have the actual production version. Big differences too. So when you log into Hasbro, sometimes they have days where it's like, hey, let's all get together and hang out and create stuff. So here's a bunch of blank ponies. Let's all paint them however we want to paint them for the contest. Half of them all are like the bagels and here's a bunch of his tags. But I know you guys like ponies, so again, this is just we just need to do the tail for Optimus Prime, the milk truck version. That will never leaves. Soundwave. There's Jazz. There's Bumblebee, who's all white. There's Bumblebee and Ultra Magnus. That's before they actually tool up metal. That's what they look like. There's an RC. Very judging. That's the map. Green Ambulance. Apparently, these were available. That's the story. I found out.
Chicago. So one I was looking on eBay and I saw a listing for an unreleased thrilling 30s speech toward traditional Megatron that is a remold of the Primus. Is it real?
That was real. It never came out.
What?
Yeah.
Man,
That was real.
give it up.
You are great at speaking of. All right, so when we make a box, we just take whatever boxes we have laying around and we make a box. This is the Toys R Us early 2000s reissue Star Screen. And that's made from a metal box. Laser beam. What's up with this guy? I know it's Armada. It's a shell former, yes. No, when we run out of time, we just literally print things and use tape. And we go, hi, Walmart, this is what we're going to sell you.
Oh, wow. Oh, wait.
This is the Power Master reissue Optimus Prime made in a box from Barbie. From Barbie toys. There she is. The cutout is the actual cutout, so this is just to prove the finished box will look like this. We just take whatever material we had. This was an early concept for the TransFan figures, yes. At first, they were all clear, and then we were going to paint them, and then they came more in line with what actually got released. And then I'm like, no, we're going to get rid of that. That looks weird. And it's just on a random, just a random card. Battle. This has been out now. Before it came out in Robots in Disguise, it was going to be part of the Beast Machines line. Never made the cut. There's the Megatron, Megahole. Yeah, sometimes you get a green tag. Green tags. There's supposed to be 3 of these. And it's the finished item. This is the Avail from the first movie that you can only get. This was one of those things that was like, hey, let's all get together. Whatever stuff we have laying around to make a box. For years and years and years, I would swear that the 2-pack never came out. And then one day, I'm going through my collection, I found the 2-pack. It did come out. This 6-pack, 5-pack, that never came out. Optimus Maximus battle sets. 6 Cyberverse figures. And some cardboard cutouts as well of characters that you could buy later on. That thing never came out, so this set never came out. I was really nervous when Metroplex started development that it was going to look like this. Yeah, that thing. This is an early test for the Transformers RPM, which on the back you'd be able to, hey, this is happy birthday. Here's a bumblebee that doesn't transform. Just some more funky colors. Oh, these guys, yeah. Bumper battlers. The Jazz was just a straight, the regular Jazz that came out in stores. Bulkhead was a new color. Never came out. Just another bag sample. That's how they show up. Again, just making whatever we had into the test packaging. This one never came. This one's heartbreaking. Stealth Force Optimus. You press the button and all these things pop out on him. And this is really cool. The batteries died on it finally. Not a whole lot of love for Stealth Force, though. All right.
Well, they weren't on to see.
What's up with this?
Ratchet.
Right, wrong card. Whole bunch of these guys were designed and came out. All right. right, I need everyone to look under their seat. And I'm no. Oh, so the story with these guys. I see these samples. I'm like, no. Like, yeah, these are the Comic-Con ones. I'm like, no, they're wrong. Like, no, that's the color. Look at the picture. I'm like, you're looking at a picture on a computer screen. That's wrong. So I had to bring in my G1 guys so we can match the right colors. Otherwise, that's what the Comic-Con blaster set would look like. Another Bumper Babbler set. I don't think that Ratchet ever came out in those colors, right? For the Bumper Babblers. Test Pack, Monopoly, Transformers Monopoly. Anybody have this? I don't think this ever came out. You got it, so it's a real thing. All right, you got it too. All right. Some G1, you know, cross-cell images. I don't know why they took the backs off of them. Oh, this thing. We were experimenting with, okay, how can we make a deluxe box, right? And that was going to be the box. And then everyone kind of like, oh, yeah, you can't see the toy inside. Yeah, yeah, well. Some art. I like Landshark. Landshark was from the Fun Pup days. The reason he's called Landshark is because back in the day, there used to be a guy called Chevy Chase. And he would do a sketch called Landshark on SNL. And in that comic book, so I read the comic book that year. And if you read the comic book, it's like, Energon delivery. But this is just an example to show how Casey draws. Casey's a great artist. He's in the dealer room. You know, he would draw the extra add-on parts separately and just lay them on top. Yeah, that's land. Yeah, the toy was Landmine, but that was the Landshark art from TFCON convention. Optimus is like, wait, release me. Please don't send me to obscurity. So that one I think did come out. Oh, so this is the bulkhead, headmaster head. I remember I'm walking through Broad Street, and I'm just walking. I'm just kicking things around, kicking things. And I kick something, and it makes a noise. I'm like, that's plastic. Let me pick. What was that head? Just laying on the factory floor somewhere. Laserbeak. I love these guys. The expression on them. This is Battle Masters Megatron Scorponok from the film. Megatron's doing his best impression of Trailbreaker's force field hands. And was that it? That was it. Oh, we got through them all. All right. I thought the key to having a successful panel was just talking and not taking questions, but all right, come on up. Let's do some questions. What do you want to call me, sir? My kids don't need.
You're an authority figure, sir. You have more plastic than me, and it means you're more powerful. So, is there any plans to like one day put this on like the wiki or something? Because I feel like a lot of this stuff for like preservation's sake, you know, more people outside this room need to know about whatever that like Dragonfire dude is. What's his story?
But you know what? This is special for you guys. Like, you know, you guys, it gives you a reason to come into TFCON because I can probably do this panel again and not repeat myself. What do you got? What's your name?
My name is Sam from Minnesota. And let's say you're on a road trip, you're going to the gas station. What snack are you grabbing?
Deep.
Definitely a bottle of Gatorade, a bottle of Monster, the big tall can of Monster, and I don't know, probably like a cheese Danish or something sweet. All right. Yeah, hey.
I got a question.
Hi, I'm David from Okay, I'll just. What's with the valley stash?
Oh, so I own a frame shop now. I own an art gallery. It's in Massachusetts. I like Salvador Dali stash because it kind of tells people when they come into my place that they're going to spend money.
I'm Emily from California. I have a quick question. Is there a Transformers pinata?
Oh, there's multiple Transformers pinatas. Yes. Yeah, there's one shaped like Optimus. There's one that's shaped like it's round, but it has a on it from Unicron, which is equal to the middle. They thought that was good enough, and obviously somebody bought it.
Question.
I'm Dom from Georgia. When Generation's Monstructor?
Wait, say that again. Generations Monstructor. Yeah, I don't know. I hope they make one. I
Question.
think we might get one out of those autobots they showed. What's going on?
We're live streaming right now on childreofprimus.com. Pick up childreofprimus.com. And I want to ask you, what is the one thing that you would really like to design Transformers related that they will never let you put out?
Back in the day, I said this crazy idea. I said, let's make an Ultra Magnus, and we'll take the trailer, and the trailer will come apart, and it will form the Magnus armor. No. What? What did that? You know, all these years later,
Leave it to
here it
fans,
is.
boys.
You know, the other one in the assortment was the Megatron, the ATP armor,
Uh-huh.
and then the wings would come off and form the God armor.
Out of all the figures that you showed us, which one was your favorite?
Which was your favorite?
Sideways. Mark with the slash.
I really like robot heroes. Robot heroes are cool. You make me. All right. Hi.
Hi, my name is Gabe, and I have a question for you. Will there ever be a day trader toy?
I certainly hope so. What's weird about Day Trader in that movie is that he's got the pirate logo on him from, you know, what was supposed to be Transformersprime, the next show. I don't know how that ended up in there. Hi.
Hey, Bronson here from California. Is it true? To my knowledge, I've heard that during the days of dark, a lot of the figures got canceled due to the economy. Is that true, would you say?
It's the economy, stupid.
That's a tough question to answer. I think it was more of a transition period going, all right, movie is not performing at the levels we expect it to. How can we get into something else? And I think they should just repackage those Dark of the Moon figures with non-movie packaging.
Hey, I'm Skip from Ohio, and got a question for you. So there's a theory going around right now that a lot of the G1 figures for Kingdom were meant for Earthrise, but they got cut short. Do you think that's true?
Well, I haven't been at Hasbro in a minute. I think it is true. I mean, I'm still waiting for Polar Claw.
What about Deluxe Roadbuster? Why was there never a Deluxe Roadbuster that was weaponized that was released for Dark of the Moon?
So I asked that question too. And the response I got was, we don't know that he's not in his car mode. And just always, you know, put the weapons out. Yeah, it's in the script. It's in the script. In the movie, they might show without the weapons. They might, but I don't think they will.
Brett, close to the end. Are you still buying toys like you were before?
Am I still buying toys? That's a serious question. I am what you call an addict.
Welcome to the club.
When do you help? Real question. I noticed a lot of the prototypes you were showing were blue. Is there any reason for that, or just random? If I had to say if there was a reason, it's because not a whole lot of figures are in blue, so it's just a lot of blue laying around. Right? This guy. I know this guy. Trump.
Good to see you. So now I need to hear more about this addiction thing. You still maintain everything like unlicensed? This is stories of your collection, or?
Yeah, so ever since 1994, I collect at least two of everything. One to keep stealing, one to play. Plus variants, plus all the licensed beds. So all those licensed beds I can find, and Hasbro in 2007 gave me a huge printout. They're like, hey, we thought of you. And they gave me a printout of every licensed Transformers movie given from around the world. It's gonna be a weirdo. When you walk into my house, you can't tell it anymore.
Eric Archer mentioned that presidents and presidents, there's only like 8 of them kind of meeting at a time. What happens to them when you guys are done?
Smash or smash. There's a big giant shredder, and bring out your dead. You can only keep so much stuff in your office, and before you got piles and piles of stuff. So, I mean, that's a truckload to go to the shredder. All right. How about let's keep it short. How about 30, 40 more questions? Hey.
We ever released a prime that's not a repeat of Optimus?
I'm sure who they do. Who they do, whatever. That sounds like a good idea. I like them, right? All right, this guy. Thank you. You've been from Wisconsin. So my question is, do you guys also have a prototype of Transformer toys that technically crossover with other IP franchises? Like something like Transformer crossover with Ninja Turtles, but that never got until this, So Transformers, did we ever design anything that crossed over with other toy lines? Like say a Transformer Star Trek Enterprise for Max. That'd be cool. I'm in. I noticed that you didn't color your My Little Pony because it was white. Did you ever see the Sparklemessprime product? I didn't see a picture of it there. That's okay. Hi.
Hi, I heard stories that when Metroplex was being made, the Generations one, somebody in the room had suggested a Metro type. And apparently, everybody just kind of went crazy and went, who?
Yeah. All right, we'll do the Metro type story real quick. So, Metroplex is coming down the road. I'm like, we should do Metroplex for San Diego. Yeah, okay. Hold up, good meeting. Oh, yeah. We should make it Metro type colors. It's the Decepticon version. Decepticons never gonna sell that price point. No. We're just gonna put some throwing thighs on and give them an extra gun. That's it. I was really pushing for Metro Titan. Nobody understood why or got it. Again, different people come and go, and things change. So,
I am Allison Winter. I'm working in Japan. And this is the most of this weekend tracking down seekers and grabbing my class. Is there a point at which there are too many secret powers?
that was a long time ago. No, absolutely not. We need seekers to keep this brand afloat. We need those repaints out on shelves.
I only got one question. Why is it that the animated Thunderbird never came out?
There's this great idea called the hub. And animated ended. And very quickly, so a lot of put out the figures. I kept trying to get season 3 out on DVD. I kept saying, hey, let's get this club. let's make an exclusive somewhere. No, not yet, not the right time. I tried, I really tried. I tried to get it out there. Still not. Yeah. That's a long, how did I get, that's a long story. I spent 5 years knocking on that door. I spent 5 years, I talked to everyone in every department that I could. And ultimately what happened was the movie came out. I'm like, wow, this movie turned out to be a success. We should probably hire some transformers. That's the short version.
Why was I never a figure?
Because only people like us. All right, thank you guys so much. You guys want to do a birthday party, or was it? It was great. It was great. What was better, this one or the one on Friday? They were the best. All right, Friday. Friday, and nobody's cheering today. I knew you did hand up for a while. I was wondering, for the white version of the virus Optimus, were there any plans to make that into like Thunder Flash instead? After my time. After my time. All right, thank you guys so much. TFCON. I'll see you all. Everyone's walking up. That's question now. If Hasbro ever gave you an unlimited budget, what is the craziest, absolutely most awesome figure you would ever create? Enterprise for Max. Donker's Cybertron. Nice. Or anything designed by Nick Burchett. All right, so there you have Rick Alvarez panels completed, and we will be back shortly with some more live stream here at TFCON Chicago. Keep it locked, childreofprimus.com. Peace.
All right, so we are live here in the dealer room at TFCON Chicago. Here's the entrance. And as always, we have the chosen Primus display right here as the main center attraction. I'll go to that in a second, but for me, the coolest thing, I put up a little video about this from yesterday. One of the coolest things about coming to TFCon is seeing the prototypes. So here we got the prototype of the X. Here's a bunch of X-Transbot stuff. And we got the prototype of Double Dealer here. These are just test shots, not even prototypes, I should say. They're test shots. You can see that Quintesson looks pretty much ready for retail. But Double Dealer, on the other hand, these are just some of these test shots are just glued together. If you can, I don't know if you can see the detail on that Galvatron there, but that's just 3D printed, showing you, giving you a sense of what he's going to look like in alt mode. And then there he is in bot mode. Definitely slimmer. It's definitely going for a slimmer look than the Fans Toys option, which is currently the best option. But this guy looks really svelte, sleek and svelte. And so that's what they're going for, more humanoid proportions on that Galvatron. Now, what I'm most excited about are these guys down here. You know, we've been saying for a long time that hardcore G1 collectors worried that we're not going to get a masterpiece version of Runabout and Runamuck. X-Transbots coming through for us. And sculpt-wise, they look great. They always do the Carbots well, and they look awesome. And then, of course, these amazing-looking Constructicons. Really looking forward to this. You can see that guy there is not even painted. He's just, it almost looks like foam just glued together. And here you can see just how this has just been spray painted. So just to give you a sense of, you know, these in-process models. But this is one of the coolest things about coming to TFCon is to see those test shots. Here we got the X-Transbot's upcoming Double Dealer. And I don't know who that guy is, so one of you guys will tell me what figure that is. Here we go with all the new Samurai stuff from Iron Factory. I'm assuming that's Iron Factory. Well, I know it's Iron Factory. We got some other stuff over here, but let's head over to the Chosen Prime display, because this is where we really got some of the cool stuff. Is Brandon ready to go home? How you doing, bro? Good to see you again. It's been a long time. Loving the display as usual. We're live streaming right now on childreofprimus.com. Big up Chosen Prime every time.
Right.
Good to see you persevering.
Get through it.
Yeah. All right, so check out what we got here. Got the Ultimetals Prime. Pretty awesome. Purple Potato, but one of my favorite displays here is the New Age display. Just check this stuff out. Apollyon, which is what I'm wearing on my neck right now. I got my New Age toy deco. And here we got the comic deco of the New Age Megatron. You got this amazing, I love the paint. Like, this is where New Age kills Magic Square. I mean, you could just see, you know, here's the Magic Square stuff. A lot of people prefer the sculpt to Magic Square. But for me, you know, without the paint, it just doesn't have the same effect. That new Grimlock that's just been released in the toy deco. There's Prime in the comic deco. Really amazing. Now, I haven't gone in on this Devastator, but I may just buy it for the box because I just love that they're doing that G1 box homage. Here's a Nicey, which we have, which Bill has showed us a couple times on our channel. And here's the Elita 1 version of that Big Firebird Nicey. And then this thing, I don't know what it is. I don't really get it, but, you know, it's for some of you guys. I don't know who. Power Master Prime. Black Power Baser. Very dope. Here we got the Fans Toys display. Awesome stuff as usual. I think that Tesla really shines, really looks awesome. And here we go with the Kang toys. both the legend scale, they're showing off their legend scale and their masterpiece scale predacons. These are highly stylized predacons. Some people like it, some people don't. But I do love the scale of these figures. They're just so huge. And they are nice and impressive in person, although, you know, I prefer gigapower style chrome as opposed to this metallic paint. So you can see in the same way, look at how Fan Stores has done the chrome gold there. You can see how much that stands out. You know, imagine if they did this guy, the Lion Bot, in all chrome. I think it'd look better. Here's the official Takara stuff. You've seen all that before. The 3-0 stuff. Toy World. You got the different colors of the Studio Cell Unicron. Here's MMC. Maybe I'll come back around to that. We got some Gigapower stuff here. Deformation Space Blaster. And then we got the whole room, ladies and gentlemen. So we got all the dealers out showing their stuff. We got the artists on the other side of the room. Oh, check this out. Here's the here's this Baroness Megatron combo pack. This is pretty cool. I like these crossovers, despite the fact that the bot looks a little trashy. But it's cool. What is this? I got no idea what that is, but that's pretty dope. Another cool crossover. It's packed here. So I think there was a record turnout for this year's TFCON Chicago. Way more people than they expected. Here's a Omega Supreme in box being negotiated. Look at that. G1 Omega Supreme in box. That's a grail. That's a grail item for me. Is that just the box, or is he in there? Or what are you selling that guy for? $675. Looks great. Stickers unapplied. Wow. Nice. Check out all these original G1 inboxes. Great collection here. On card. Wow, look at those. Look at those on card. Constructicons look really amazing there. Here you've got an army of Jetfires. I just love this table. Really awesome. How you doing?
D, can you hear me?
What's going? Oh wow, you got some deluxe Insecticons here, G1 deluxe Insecticons. A mere $100. Get a bug. Get a couple bugs. These are deluxe Insecticons are one of the few things that are missing from my G1 collection. Oh, I don't have this Spirit. This guy looks really good. Just spin around, give you another, mere $800. This is also missing from my collection, this Metroplex. I passed on it when it was $200, now it's $800. I don't think I'm springing for it. Got some cool artwork. People are wrapping up for the day. Dealer room is going to close in about an hour. Unfortunately, I don't got the time to interview people at the tables because I'm going to go in for this last panel. Here's all this new age stuff in box. Looks really dope. This is the TF Source booth. They got a lot of really cool stuff here. My favorite thing at this booth is the Make Toy Seekers. We got all the Make Toy Seekers variations. $160 here. And the one that I really like is this Sky Clone. Both the Ion Storm and the Sky Clone. What do you think? What do you think of these Seekers?
I can't decide, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm between this one.
you don't mean this one, right? You mean this one, Ion Storm and Sky Clone.
I like them all.
Yeah.
Honestly, I like them just kind of like
Yeah, Thundercracker. Well, so I've got the originals, of course.
Okay.
But between these are the two exclusives, right? I mean, and this is an exclusive too, but we've seen Sunstorm a lot of times, right? A lot of companies have done them, but this color variation has never been done, and this one's very rare. So I can't decide because on the one hand, I want the one that's never been done, but on the other hand, the purple one I think just looks the best of the new colors.
Right.
So, you know.
I mean, I really like this one actually. I like Thundercracker, but
Yeah.
I like the look of this one a bit better.
Yeah. And again, I mean, you probably have another Thundercracker, if not this mold, you know, masterpiece scale. So this is what's really unique. But if Thundercracker is your favorite guy, I mean, Thundercracker was actually one of my first G1 Transformers.
Right.
So, you know, if I didn't have that, that would be my go-to.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, tough call. And we got about another hour to make the choice.
I might end up having to toss a coin.
You might have to. Or you may have to get them all.
No, I already spent too much money.
As we all have. So yeah, make your choice, or do you just get them all? We got Siege Omega Supreme. This is also missing from my collection, but I'm not paying $480 for it. We got I wonder. Oh, look, Unicron. I wonder how much Unicron is selling for. So we still haven't done the unboxing of my Hasbro Unicron. A mere $18.50. So I should have just brought my Unicron here and sold it for $2,000. And then I could have bought a bunch of other figures here. That might be worth it, except then of course I wouldn't have my Unicron, which is unacceptable. I think because I'm trying to get back to the panel, I'm not going to be able to stop at all the art tables. But I do hear you're into stuffed animals, you know. You're into that sort of thing. So we got all the artists here. I'm just going to do a drive-by of the artist tables. Give you a sense of what you can find here if you come by. What's good, bro? How you doing? Looking good. Very cool artwork right here. Oh. No, it's all good.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm just taking a few shots real quick. We live on YouTube. What's good? How you doing, bro? Cool. Not to interrupt you guys. Your question was good, bro. How you guys doing? Got some real cool airbrush stuff here. Very suggestive artwork here. Dope style. I love this star screen that you got going on there. I was admiring that yesterday. There's the artist, CC North, if you want to check him out. Very cool stuff. And that's a quick tour of the dealer room. So I'm going to sign off for a moment, go back to the panel, and I'll be back online. And I believe the panel that is underway right now is the IDW comic book artist. So let's get over there. Oh, check this out. We got a whole Robeson display going on. All right. Man, he is huge. Seeing him in person is a whole different experience, as all the reviewers say. Oh, dope.
And there's a roller. It's an RC too.
That is so cool.
See? There you go.
Oh, man.
And the top thing's on. So you roll the trailer with the roller.
With the roller, yeah.
And it'll drive. All using the tablet. You can make it fight. Shoot the gun, make the axe.
That's dope. Yeah, I've watched all the reviews on Robeson, but I haven't yet seen the trailer. Yeah. No, that's awesome.
I was just asking how to make me want it.
And how much is the trailer going for? $749? So basically the same price as him. It's been so $999, yeah. Yeah. So if people were complaining about 800 being too much, but they should have got in when it was 800. Okay. So you work with the company? All you guys?
We are with the company.
Cool. Who's the designer? Is the designer here? Okay. Yeah, but anyway, this is really dope. Like I've seen this develop from years and years ago when it was just a prototype. It wasn't licensed or anything. Yeah.
There's even a contest that they said that they're going.
Yeah.
Sign up. You can win a signed Peter Cullen one.
Oh, that's amazing. All right. Well, you heard it on Children of Primus first, ladies and gentlemen. I'm live streaming right now, Children of Primus, on YouTube. And yeah, so here's the details. If anybody wants to do the scan right there, you could try to enter that contest. All right, guys. Great talking to you. Keep up the good work. Very dope. Very dope. I'm hoping that they... Oh, let's ask them another question. Hey, so actually, I have a question for you guys. So talking about those prototypes that I saw, I remember also seeing, I think maybe a hound, if I'm not mistaken, and or a Constructicon. Was that your same designer? So that's one question. Was that your same designer or one of your designers? And two, are you going to do any other characters? To release what? Lightyear. Like Buzz Lightyear? Okay, got it. Very cool. Congrats. That's awesome. So what is the name of your company? Is it Robeson? Yeah, cool. And where are you guys based? Okay, very dope.
They have another one that's like a space one that does the same exact.
Okay, very cool. But so officially you are saying that you are going to be releasing other Transformers characters. That's awesome. So yeah. Well, I have my suspicions, but I'm looking forward to seeing what it is. All right, guys, have a great day. All right, so we got you heard it here first. Children of Primus, Robeson officially confirming that they have some new figures coming out for us next year, as well as doing some Buzz Lightyear stuff if you're into that sort of thing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna head back to the panel, and I will be back live shortly.
Who I went to school with.
Keep it locked.
you're just gonna get better and better. You'll like figure out new ways of doing. Be like, oh, when I did this first head of like sound wave here, like, oh, it took me a while, but the next one got easier. I started to commit the forms of memory to the point where it's like just automatically going at it, and then you can start refining those details, finding comfort zone of it. So you really have to just keep at it, draw. Don't get discouraged if it's not turning out the way you want. We all have days. It happens to us all. And we just muddle through. And if you get frustrated with drawing, then walk away. Like, take a break, do something, play video games, watch, read a book, read a comic, and then come back to it. Like, don't work and be frustrated while you're working. Like, when you get to that point where it's like super frustrating, that's the moment. So take a break, walk away, and reset yourself. I was working on a piece of artwork for the Dave over drawings where I spent four hours working on it. And then I realized I screwed up the background, and I was like, can I salvage it? No. And then I was like really pissed off. And I walked away and had like lunch. And then I came back and I was like, where again? And I did another one. And the second drawing ended up being better than the first one. So just keep drawing. Work at it.
Yeah, and I think going back to basics is really helpful. You know, nude models are just drawing a fruit bowl. Like, you don't want to be picturing drawing apples, but it's going to teach your brain how to remember how an apple looks like, or how a character looks like, or how humans look like. So it's just going to train your brain to remember things better the more you do it. We had every week 5 hours of nude models in college, and I didn't want to draw nude models, but it helped me how to make sure it's more dynamic and how, things work, and it helped me like, learning how to draw background as well. Even though it was moon models, it has nothing to do with background, but it teaches you to observe and what's important to observe and how those shapes work, how perspective works and angles. So all of that just can improve every aspect.
I don't know what you say. Yeah, it's all kind of like about training your brain, teaching your brain something. And yeah, like as lame as a bowl of fruit, it teaches your brain to recognize shapes and teach your hand how to create things. So that all the time. I think what you're doing, what you said you're doing already, is great. Because art is expression, so that express yourself whatever way you know how to the best of your ability. It's great practice. So.
Thanks, guys.
Good.
Yes, Sarah, look.
Wow.
Coronation kit included.
I am in fact a Starscream enthusiast, which sort of targets my question. It's a two-parter for you, actually, Sarah. So if my caffeine-fueled wiki dive is accurate, you would have done the art for tilallareone issue 12, which has Starscream's true form. Is that correct? Yes. Can you walk me through the process of drawing that design? Because let me tell you, it occupies every free space in my brain. And I have butchered together multiple Verizon Starscream kits to build that figure and bring it to life, to put it on my shelf, because I love it so much. Thank you. I'm going to be really disappointed. You're paid per page, right? And then I have to draw a design that I'm not paid for. But no, I mean, it's one of those cases that I just drew it felt right. I love Starscream. I adore every shape of them. I really care for this character, and so I'm just thinking, like, what does he feel like inside? And I had to think. I talked with Margaret about it a lot too. Like, what alt mode I pick? He could have had any alt mode I want, but to me, I'm like, no, he has to fly. It has to be. And I just started from that, just thinking about those little details that, like, what could make him, and even with the colors, it was really like from deep down how I felt. I didn't really have a process at all. I'm like, cool, like triangle stuff. That's nice, that's really all it was, and I'm really thrilled to see that he such a like positive response from a lot of people. It can't please everybody, of course, but that like that design was really truly something special with the book. I wanted to, give it justice, but I also couldn't spend 3 months on it, because I would have if I could have, but I couldn't for the deadlines. But yeah, so yeah, that's it. But thank you, like it really means a lot that people like that. All right, thank you very much.
If there is any characters to be able to redesign, which one would you choose? Like out of, I guess, the franchise are the ones that you practice drawing.
Close the question.
Oh, sure.
If
If there's any character that you have the chance to be able to redesign, like to give your own personal flair to, which one would you choose?
Oh, Bumblebee. Wow. Surprising everyone.
Redesign the like my character. A lot or
Oh, I guess so.
then I'll redesign.
I also want to design.
Yeah, I do it so it makes it harder for everyone to draw. But they have.
It's probably like boring. Probably just start screaming at that or we play it again. They're just the characters that like I'm most attached to. And it's really fun. Thank you.
Hi, so you were saying how there are certain characters you guys love to draw, as well as how many times it would take to finalize a design for some of them. And there's so many Transformers. Were there any that always seemed particularly uncooperative when it came to drawing them, and who would they be?
I think like the movie Megatron. I think any of those. What is that?
You can't come to the regular ones, right? We'll keep waiting for them. You're locked. Only because I one person had asked for permission for he wasn't happy with it, so I got me sick of drawing. now I have a prejudice against Grimlock for no reason. Like, I like the character, but like every time I see him now, yes. Yes. I was like, can't do it. Yeah. But then they put Grimlock on my picture for announcing me for TFCON. Who picked this image? Why?
Should that
I know there was one, but I just can't come up with the drawing. It's gonna come to me like as a kid does tonight, and I'm gonna be like,
I think, and anything, if it gets detailed, it starts to become an issue for me because my mind wants to simplify a lot of shapes. So it's just the more complicated, the more it's going to be less cooperative.
Thank you so much also for breathing so much life into these characters and really bringing them more to the characters that we know by giving them more and more personality.
Yeah, that's good. Hey, I think I said hello to a couple of you today or yesterday. I wanted to know who or what are your biggest artistic inspirations?
Well, I'd say first off, everyone here. Everyone, it sounds like such a
general boring answer, but everyone that's done anything with IDW or just touched Transformers in general has been a big inspiration because I've always just loved robots from the beginning. But and you know, and Derek Wyatt's been like a huge inspiration for me because growing up, Transformers was always drawn like this. It was always blocky. There was no other way to interpret it. But after bumping into animated, you realize that you can change shapes. You can add a lot more exaggeration. And it was nice and free. And then outside of that, I'm terrible with names, but there's a lot of Studio Trigger guys that are big Transformer fans, inspired.
The same, a huge reason why I wanted to hop on a IDW with comics is because of the work that everyone has been doing on those comics. I want to be a part of the cool gang, you know? So there was a lot of that for sure. Otherwise, I just in for my art in general, you know, Disney kids, my whole life, I love those, you know, stylized, dynamic, that's kind of my jam. I love the like soft coloring that comes from that. I wish I had names like that.
Yeah, I always draw blanks when I have to say a name.
Yeah,
Sarah.
Yeah. I think for me, one of my biggest inspirations at the start was Scotty Young. He's a great artist. Jeff here from Marvel. He's really great at like conveying action motion with Transformers. Played with a lot of like big and lots of lacking on the page. So much. And then yeah, later on Derek Wyatt. So for sure that came to inspiration. I would like people's work at like Sean Gordon or Alex and stuff like that. Yeah, every time I get color someone's work over there, you're so zoomed in on their stuff, kind of see every little detail that they do. And not in a judgmental way, but like yeah, like I work with things a lot in my suit, and they're like, oh, this is how you transparency, details, the nitty gritty, and it's always given inspiration a lot. Everyone. Sure.
For Transformers specifically, Dawn sounds like one of my favorites, and Guido, those two icons. For everything else, Atomo, I love Akira. That those 6 manga volumes are epic, and I go back to them all the time. The American Field, Jim Lee, Mark Sylvester, Howard Murphy, Campbell, Joe Ventura, for Ramos, like I love artwork and anything that like appeals to me, like I will consume it and just like support it. And I'd be like, how did they do this? And I'll start to like I'll buy multiple copies so I can like kind of like just like use over the page and be like, how did they do this? And like I'm like trying to figure it out, break it down, and be like, can I apply that to my own work better? So.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So this question comes from a vehicle enthusiast. Do y'all prefer drawing Transformers with realistic alt modes or more fantastical sci-fi fantasy kind of looks, like an F4 Phantom versus a space jet?
Yeah, the more concept, the real, then you can play around with shapes on it.
Yeah, made up one, because then make the mistake, nobody will know. you will know if you screw up with BW. There, you'll be like, you didn't draw that right. That's not correct there. The door handle doesn't go there. And all that. But made up vehicles, so look, I don't know. You were seeing that's how it's supposed to. You don't mind it.
I'd say the same thing. More fun ones, I guess, to draw, but it is satisfying. That definitely is like the car. It's satisfying.
I was going to say the opposite, and I was yeah. Because to me, I'm like, references of the real existing ones, and I don't have to look 5 hours for the references of them. But no, that's like, sure you can just mix it up.
I can.
Hi, I was curious, how much when you're drawing animals is it kind of form over function? Because a lot of transformers have the rigid kind of blocking structures to them. So how often do you have to like break that in order to get that particular animal?
All the time, especially if the writer's like crosses his arms, and it's like, Carl crosses his arms. Do you know what's in front of him? Like, you know how big his chest is?
Carl rests his arms on top of his hefty bosom.
It's always this. If you try to do this realistically, his arms are going to be up here, or they're going to be way down here. So I think it's like all the time you have to like break the rules just to get across what the story calls for. Like you want to try and keep it realistic, but break the rule. It'll look fine. Like we're not trying to make it play here. We're breaking comics. Comics are fantastic.
I would say the point of the comic is storytelling. You know, you don't want to limit yourself with like a bottle, dynamic. Or tell the story. Want to draw something that's
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, so this is specifically for Alex, because I finally found my voice to speak to you. When you made Megatron's look without his helmet, what was your thought process on that? And do you ever think or hope they would keep that idea around in other media going forward?
Which one without one?
When he removes his helmet,
In Megatron Origins?
yes, in Megatron Origins.
It's weird because I had like this weird, crazy conversation with the writer Eric Holmes and how what Megatron could have been like, and I had like this crazy idea like he was a reprogrammed war general that had no place in society, so they reprogrammed him and sent him to the mines, but they kept his original head. That's what he has under the helmet. There was like his original look, but then it just all changed, and it like makes no sense. Like why make Megatron so they reprogram? He doesn't do that. He's cool on his own. That was like a crazy idea I had that just like, like the writer was like, that sounds cool.
I like it.
Awesome.
I like it. It felt very like an aspect.
Yeah.
Everybody liked it. Hi, I just want to know, like, what your workspace is like. Like, is it messy, clean, and what kind of music or like drink do you have of choice?
Messy, Coke Zero. Usually deep stuff. Very messy. Very messy.
It was a lot of talking. I've had to cut back because I'm old. And my desk is horribly messy. I have, a big tablet screen and barely any room for anything else other than my cat who puts herself in front of my keyboard. This gameplay, the streamers, get to enjoy their life when I.
Yeah, my workspace is it's maybe like this. It's like big enough for my laptop and my screen, and it doesn't appear messy. That's because I hide the paper that way. I can't see it. But yeah, as far as like I really just drink my water. But I watch a lot of shows whenever I can. Like I have my laptop over here, my second screen. So I have a lot of not shows that I want to watch, but like shows I've seen before, or whatever. So I've seen like The Office or whatever, like it does time. So it's stuff that I know. I kind of like picture the scenes in my mind while I'm drawing or whatever. same kind of deal. Or I listen, yeah, listen to music. I listen to like.
Yep.
Robert area. The disaster area. And I work area. It's more garbage dump. Yeah. I usually like keep it clean, but like when I start working on anything special, like I start pulling out the markers, and I don't come back to where I pull them out from. Dump them on the side of the desk because I'm like I never know what I need. And then I just pull more markers. I'm like, I need yellows here. I need like 6 yellows in my hand there. Done. Toss them on the desk. And then it's like, oh, where's that pencil? I just like start jumping stuff all over the place. And I have stuff falling off the ground. It's so frustrating that like I have a raised tabletop, so there's so much stuff underneath it. No, like the portable, like I have a flat desk with a raised one, so I don't have much over that much. So much stuff underneath it. And I'm like, that pencil will under that picked up. And I'm like, but listen to a lot of 90 and also have for like starship and that. Good. And I also listen to like whatever. Or if I really like want to focus on put on some dark crowd. I like Mark Man. Drink usually Diet Coke, water.
I also watch a lot of dog grooming videos. The Korean ones.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, this is for mainly the two Joshes, but both the other artists can feel free to throw the hat in it. So all of you have your series you're most known for art-wise, but for the Joshes, I noticed that these words ended very early. What are some characters you would have liked to have drawn or added into the background or something like that that you couldn't just do time? They didn't let you.
Sure. All of them. Towards the end there, yeah, we got able to throw in a lot more stuff, but Hasbro was pretty set on us doing like first year kind of stuff only, and so I would have loved to have gone transmetal and stuff like that actually, but we weren't allowed to go quite that far, and the story wasn't quite allowed anyways. It was only 17 issues, so I would have liked to space that out story-wise, but yeah, there's a lot. I managed to kind of squeeze in my favorites, like Cyber Shark was one of my favorites, so I kind of put them on this big double spread at the last issue. Just kind of show them off. I kind of tried to show as many as I could from what I could. So much more.
I did a small run comic, SDSG, Super Deformed Shattered Glass for Bum Publication. And I just wanted to be able to throw a bunch of Shattered Glass characters in there. I wanted to put Chromia in there because I based her and Windblade off of Man. I wanted to throw her in there too. And then the story got cut off. It was supposed to be, the story was going to go on and be more chaotic, and then it was just going to be, everything was in Prime Frame when Unicron was reformatting it into Nova Prime. And then that's why the comic was so stupid. But that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You jinxed it.
I thought we were friends. Hi. So I've been passionate about design for a really long time, and the work everybody has done on IDW is like phenomenal and like super inspirational. So thank you all for that. In terms of like translating a character into your style or doing revisions on a design, do you have any like tips and tricks?
Don't do what I do. Don't just ask for blog parties.
distilling it down to like the personality, trying to get that across, or like transformermasterpiece, like basing it kind of on archetypes or whatever. Like the things I give her play elements, pilot, so I thought push it and kind of bring that stuff more into it. I think, yeah, I'm thinking about things like animation, like shapes, silhouette. That's kind of how you establish like your first impression. And I think that's probably one of the biggest things as far as character design goes. Like look at something, you know, like who they are, what that character. That's one thing that's a lot. That thing.
Yeah, it was hard for me to do something like that, because I come from more of an animation background, so it was a lot of, you have to copy the design exactly the way it is, and that was kind of hard a lot. But you just, so finding my own flavor was difficult for a while, but yeah, it's just, it was fun. Don't compare yourself. Don't compare yourself. When you have to redraw an Alex Simone character, don't compare yourself. It's just, it's like, why did you do this to us? You know, that's kind of, exactly, at least he knows, yeah. But yeah, so it's, you do what you can. That's so negative. But yeah, it's really, you know, conceptually, don't compare yourself. Just a lot of, I do like, currently, like, the time we're on commission, right, there's characters like, draw my own stuff. Just a lot of like quick moves, like, and then, all right, I got it, and then it's work up the room. You know, so just get like your hand is trained to draw in your thumb.
I have a wandering style, so it's more painful, I think, because I want to try and portray what I'm drawing in the style as accurately as it would be in that style. But I absolutely love animating this book, and because it's just you just break everything down to necessary shapes and into you know, silhouettes that explain a character if they're strong or if they're supposed to be lazy. So that style works really well for me to do that, because then you can take a character and just turn them into just usable shapes instead of, you know, I guess like unnecessary shapes.
This was very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm just letting everybody know this is a 10-minute warning, so if anyone else has any questions, we're gonna hang on with these guys, and if we have any time left towards the end and you really want to answer, see if we can wiggle another one or two in. Okay.
Awesome. Hey, I just want to ask, sorry. I just want to ask what books you guys are reading at the moment, and comics that would you recommend, and if you guys have anything you want to promote at the moment.
Well, don't.
That creaking noise is all of our brains.
I think for me, I recently started getting into like the move power series. Like I kind of love this time, but I always heard some great things about it. As far as anything, not too much crazy. We're not finishing up like most of all big hitters. First editions are out already.
I've been rereading just a bunch of old stuff, like the Devilman manga and the Battle Royale manga. I've just been in a weird, like, I like that, like the weird dark stuff now. But I would like to take a moment to plug Code 45, which is a comic drawn by Joey, who was also the Transformers, but it's about people going crazy in a subway in Montreal specifically. But and then there's another book on the plug that I forget the name of it, because it has like several working titles. I'll do that.
I don't read,
For comics, reading the, like book, or spot that. Batman Joker gets plug anything? No.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
I'm on the breath on.
Well, thank you, everyone. Hope you did well.
Thank you.
This question actually popped in my head after hearing another person's question about like the crossing of the arms across the chest. Like, have y'all ever drawn anything like paper to scale just out of the ridiculousness of it? Like on purpose.
For fun sometimes, yeah. Like it's fun to draw like the G1 Transformer as they were in their 80s toys where they, there's no posability except straight elbow. That's just kind of fun having to do fun things.
I just like to give stars like massive back, like when
Upward ankles, all seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. You might just sketch it around. The problem is getting.
I think you've seen my work. Like okay, more and more, and it's like, what you stuff? Don't know. It's not good enough yet. Something does. More life, more happy now.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Testing 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay. As artists, as illustrators, you're typically, your job is just to illustrate to the best of your ability. Sometimes that takes a lot of passion, right? All right. My question here for you is, in IDW, was there ever a single segment in your career, did you ever feel passionate about what you were drawing at the moment? And if so, what was it?
Beast Wars cover, because I only do 2 things right.
Rat Trap and Beast Wars cover.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I think for me, one book that I'm really proud of is like One Piece Guy, especially I really appreciate the impact it's had on myself as well. And I was just as interested as everybody else to get the next script.
For me, I can think of 2 examples, and it was when I worked on Lost Light. It was when Tarzan is Mama's Hallway, I remember feeling like it was like stressful, like I was stressed out, and it felt like serious and important. And I remember putting a lot of that emotion in stages because it was very tense, and I really loved working on stages. And there was also smaller one. When it's, I think it's in the Windlake head and there's some stuff happening and it starts to freak out. I looked down and started to freak out. So that was also very, just kind of, like it's all you could, like I could focus on. Like I was just like kind of close off, focus on this, like stressed out as well.
That was awesome. So it's like you did really good.
Yeah, one more. Well, I am really passionate about probably the wrong Transformer series. Like I put a lot into that, and I'm still very big for that book. It's hard because like any scene that I like reading, like put a lot of myself into the work now. So, like, how do I guess I'm like proud to like most recent work, but Robert's was like good. But like I'm always like trying to like work it better.
Oh.
So only after a while I'm like more. But no, yeah, Robert's Transformers because I'm able to be the most creative. So that book is probably the most me around.
All right, well, thanks for answering that. I mean, you guys are great. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
try to get all the emails. It's for training. I'm not sure. We can look at it for sure. I'm not sure what that would look like, but
Cool idea.
You could also do it to where it's like no cash. It's
Yeah.
just straight trading.
Yeah.
And, so, because I know they did that at a couple of conventions where it's like, hey, there's no cash, it's trade something for something, or barter system. You remember that?
That's it. Hard to enforce.
we can look into it.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, what's up?
Had a great time this weekend. You know, I'm hearing from everyone about how, we talked about, it seems like a common theme that we're talking about. And we have a lot of, like you said, the younger groups that are coming into play here. Whereas, when we go out, they come in, and that's a real good feeling to know, because it speaks to how this is going to go on even after we're gone, And it wouldn't be right to not recognize, as we were going through this whole thing, we had the pandemic that happened. We actually lost people that used to come to these cons to that, and I, want to recognize that, we appreciate, we appreciated them then, and we still appreciate them now. And I appreciate the fact that, every TFCon that we have is always set and feels like a family environment. So, and that's a hard thing to, that's sometimes a hard thing to accomplish, given that, you have different personalities of everyone that comes to these events, even from the guests, the staff, all the way down to the people that, comes in for free, like the little kids. I definitely want to thank you for everything that you and your staff put together, and the way you all have these shows. They just come off without a hitch, with no issues. The entire years that I've been coming here, I have never ever seen any dramatic situations go on. There was no visual drama seen in any of these shows, and and it speaks to how well you guys do this show every year, multiple times a year too. So I just wanted to take this time to, just really thank you and your staff for everything that you all do for not just yourselves, but for the fans themselves. I appreciate that. But I know before you start. But getting back to, the badges and the lanyards and all that type of stuff, I mean, I know we say this all the time, and I know the amount of work that it goes into, different, memory type, and it's very cool that, and yeah, I didn't know about the pins until now, and I love to see it. I'm telling you, it was absolutely cool, and it's beautiful. It would absolutely be cool for us to have lanyards. Lanyards is always a memorable type thing, and it's like, every year I come here, it's like, yo, I wish I could have a cool lanyard to remember this event. Because you always look at that lanyard and you're like, yo, I remember that year. Because, we did this, I got this, this is when I first got into this, and all that type of stuff. So yeah, those type of things are very cool to have. Just wanted to, point that out too. But overall, thanks for everything that you and your staff do. Really appreciate it. Yeah, you guys really like it.
It's a collectible.
It's a collectible, okay. Yeah, so like you touched on, I'd really like to thank all the staff and volunteers. They did a fantastic job once again this year. They give up their time so you guys can have a great weekend. So thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. Apparently we've got a surprise graphic that's going to go up now. Look at that. Look at that reaction.
Orlando.
Thanks, Chicago. Thanks for having us. Thanks for all you guys for coming out and making such a huge success. This was probably the craziest and most successful TFCON we've ever had. So thank you guys for coming out. Up next, we've got the podcast panel.
Yes.
That's going to run for an hour, I think. Yeah. All right. Awesome. Okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming up. Thank you very much. We'll see you next year.
Yeah, I was
What else was said? I figured it.
Lanyards, and more lanyards.
Same thing.
That was that.
Oh, yeah. Lanyards. We're gonna do two of us split. Someone you want more
I stared directly into that.
Oh, don't do that.
That was not.
Hello. Testing. Testing.
Testing.
Congratulations, you passed.
Yeah.
First time ever passed a test. Hi, everybody. How are you? You, my phone.
Yeah, I just did that too.
Oh,
Like you're behind the bar.
professional podcast. Yeah, like I do that for a living too. And no clicky pens. Anybody got-
No, we're not really bad. They don't trust me with this.
We're getting an additional mic here.
Well, do you want this to be Q&A or?
Oh yeah, who's walking around? Melbar. Melbar. Melbar's walking around. Or people. An elegant solution. Are you starting to speak?
I am starting to speak.
I'm pretty sure I'm.
Okay, good.
All right. Okay. Welcome everyone to the Transformers Podcasters Roundtable. We're closing out TFCON Chicago 2022. Thanks for hanging out to the end of the show. I think it's hard to follow Colin, but we intend to do it every year. So, yeah, thanks for coming out. There's a bunch of podcasts represented up here. We all like talking into a microphone for some reason about, transforming toys, plastic, and everything, converting. they're always transforming. I don't work for Hasbro. They're transforming toys. I am Big C, Charles aka Big C. I am the host of the Transmissions podcast. And we do a weekly show. We actually do 2 shows every week about toys and comics and media and all that stuff and lots of other stuff. We're at transmissionspodcast.com. So pass it over. I think I'll do this by right. Okay. I'm Diecast from radioFreecybertron. We've been around for, I think we just had our 23rd anniversary ever. So we're a weekly podcast. Also, you can go to tfradio.net to kind of follow us there. Thanks for coming to TFCon. Hi, I'm Mike Seibert. I'm the host of the Mike Seibert Radio podcast, and I think this is my first time actually crashing the long time first time, as they say in the old radio biz. I do a podcast that's Transformers adjacent. It's nobody's favorite Transformers adjacent podcast. Talk about like pop culture, movies, comics, TV, occasionally liquor. Apparently, I review food now. I don't know. It's weird, but this is my TFCon, and it's a great time. I think this is going to be a really fun conversation about you. It's going to be a lot of fun. That will go from the
Oldest person. Well, I think I'm gonna jump in before we get into our newbies. I'm gonna come in and just reiterate the oldest factor here.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So I'm Daryl, I go by Cybertronian Beast, and I'm also on the Transmissions podcast. Like Charles, who neglected to mention that, he's not the only host.
It's just me. There can only be one.
So yeah, we've been doing our show for over 9 years now, and crossed 500 episodes a few months ago.
Wow.
And yeah, it's been fun. We have like you said, two shows a week, and one's toy centric, which is that's mainly me. I kind of helm that one, but I follow Charles's hosting lead. But I do the majority of the buying, so he follows me most of the time. But then we got the comics show, which is Jeremy, our tech guy, and Charles, our comics guru. So they both kind of take the lead on those ones when I just kind of sit back and just kind of listen. So it's a fun show, and we really enjoy that. And yeah, so now let's welcome our newbies.
My throat is in danger. So I'm Josh, and I'm one of the hosts of the More Than Meets the Ear podcast. This is a show where we talk about Transformerscybertron.
We don't talk about Transformers. We talk about everything else except for Transformerscybertron.
You see what I have to deal with. And along with me is.
Hi guys, I'm Trish. I'm actually part of 2 podcasts. So I work with Josh here on More Than Meets the Ear, and I'm actually also part of the Sports Bar podcast, or their Transformers D&D side. It's homebrew, but they also do comics reviews. And I just wanted to preface your podcast is older than me, just so you feel better.
Oh,
Figured I'd start with that. Yeah,
Shots fired.
That's pretty much the around here.
Yeah, that tracks. Yeah.
Yeah, but we're older than podcasts, so.
Yeah.
All right, on that depressing note, so we're all here at the TFCON Chicago having a great time. So I thought maybe we just go around and talk about what were the high points for the show for each of us. So maybe I'll start with that. Right. Okay, I'm just gonna come out with the elephant in the room and talk about the biggest controversy of the show being the Vans hobby. What's it? Vans model.
So this is the model kit that got shown off during the third-party panel that was mentioned to be a model kit, but never shown to be transforming.
Fantasy model. That's
Fantasy model.
Fantasy model, the Ultra Magnus,
which is Mach? Is it Mech? Mach? MEUGH? Mech? I think that's the name they're going with. I promise you,
Marge.
Yeah.
It's like Marge. Marge.
It's apparently Vans toys.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's Vans.
Maybe Vans toys.
Definitely Vans toys.
Oh yeah. It's not like Perfect Fusion. It's definitely Vans toys.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But we didn't think it actually transformed. And today we got an image of the trailer. So it does transform, or appears to transform. But then is it still a model kit?
I guess we're gonna have to wait until
Kits transform.
2030 when it gets released, and then we'll talk about it more then. But so it's maybe just a bunch of parts that form into it does the transformium thing, and then just it busts up and then reforms, and then yeah.
Is this Vans toys basically saying like, hey, how can we cut out some of the factory assembly time? Let's just let them do it.
So it's an IKEA situation.
Yeah. One of another Transmissions co-host, Jeremy, who's off camera, he's mentioned like the buy kits do transform too. Those are model kits.
Well, to say nothing about Lego Optimus also.
Yeah, that's enough.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Cool. Well,
so that's your opening salvo. And as the room clears.
Hey, how many people in here like Vans toys? Okay, a couple.
Yeah, a couple, 4. Yeah.
Tough
I would
room.
put my hand up if I could afford them most of the time. They're pretty expensive.
Most of my friends only like fans toys. I don't know who you guys are.
Who in this room bought that one Fans Toys Quake Wave that was in the dealer room? All right, you're all safe.
Okay.
Oh. One that got away? Go ahead, Charles.
I think this is going well.
Well, for me, the high point of the show was always just seeing all the fans. To see my friends again that I always see behind the computer screen because we do our podcast. We're all in different cities, so we talk to each other every week. It's just it's like the Zoom call, which people are now more familiar with after 2020. But we've been doing it, as Daryl said, for over 9 years. So it's always good to see each other in person again, and then see all our friends and see people who listen to the show and enjoy the show. It's always nice. I want to say hi. That's my favorite part of TFCON is the community and hanging out with me. And the cosplay contest I think this year was really cool. It was really great seeing how enthusiastic everyone was.
It's like kids. There were so many
Yeah.
There was so many kids. It was incredible to see the kid participation.
Yeah. So that's the community. That's my favorite part of TFCON.
You're saying when you see people in person, it's like a Zoom call with alcohol?
No, because they close the bar.
That's right.
What about you, Mike?
Well, I don't go as far back in convention going as some of my friends here on the panel. This was my first opportunity to meet Mr. Peter Cullen. Anybody else have the opportunity to meet Mr. Cullen? I got a couple of things.
Oh yeah.
Well, you guys have stories, and I would like to ask you about some of your experiences. But I had the most amazing experience meeting Mr. Cullen, and he is a treasure that must be protected at all times. I was I made some really good line buddies, folks I was hanging out with in line, and the folks that were right after me had made this like hand crocheted objects that's like bigger than bigger than the RoboSyn Prime. And
Wow.
yes,
It was.
A small child tried to
such
walk away with it.
occasionally.
Oh yeah, there was a kid. He was like, "Oh, that's so cool," and Sam was like, "No, let it go."
But it was such a special moment that they had because like they cried and then he cried, and even though I had gone before them, I was already in my own feels because all I did, my experience was actually shockingly brief. I think I maybe spoke to him for less than 60 seconds.
My bad.
But no, it's fine. It's all I wanted to do because autographs are just pen on paper, but like I wanted the opportunity to shake Mr. Cullen's hand, look him in the eye, and just say thank you. And he looks up with just like the warmest, sweetest Canadian eyes and he says, "You're welcome." And my heart just melted, and it's just like, and if I had stayed even a moment longer, I would have just been a gooey mess, and it just would have been a problem. So I go off to have the ink dry on my poster, and then my new friends come up right behind me, and then the tears start. It was just, and I'm sure there were so many beautiful moments just like that. And I think that's one of the things that makes this particular TFCon Chicago 2022 one for the books and one that's special. I know I'm going to take that experience with me and keep it for a very long time. But so that's in terms of like highlights. But like the undercard, I'm here for friendship. Like you guys were already saying, it's like I've met so many people that I haven't seen since before the pandemic, and I've seen just as many folks that I have made in the digital space, you know, Twitter, Facebook, social media, Discords, and to connect with somebody in real life that you don't. It sometimes takes a moment to realize that you haven't actually met them before. Like I shook hands and do bro hugs with folks, and it's like, wait a second, we've never actually met in person. But those friendships are so genuine, real that yeah, it's just celebrate friendship. It's an amazing time.
So I'm one of the, Josh and I enjoy volunteering for TFCON. It's one of the highlights really of our trip. It was an interesting experience this time. There were lots of ups and downs and squiggles along the way, but we had a really good time, and I got to see again some really good friends that I haven't seen in a long time. It was nice getting to spend some time. Mr. Collins, you probably saw us down there for the crushing your hopes and dreams. Yes, thank you. Move along, move along. That was me. So I apologize in advance for all of that, but thank you everybody for being super understanding and helping that work. We couldn't have done it without your guys' support.
Now, you guys are doing the Lord's work. Yeah, give it up for volunteers that help make them so easier. But like every line needs to get moving, and somebody has to do the work. So I appreciate the work.
It's a lot of fun. It's a little bit of work and a lot of fun.
Just going off of all this Peter Cullen talk, the highlight I think of the show for me, and it's weird because it wasn't my story. It's twofold, and both of them happened while I was working in the room with Peter Cullen. One is silly, and the other is going to break it. I'll start with the silly.
I can't do it again.
My absolute favorite line in any work of Transformers whatsoever is in the G1 episode Prime Target. And it is when Optimus Prime says, "Amazing! A booby trap that actually catches boobies." Some young lady brought in a sports bra.
And it said on there, it had a picture and the text, "Amazing, a booby trap that actually catches boobies," and had Mr. Cullen's sign. It was hilarious.
Wow. Wow.
It was borderline for us. We were supposed to catch anything that may not have wanted to sign over, but it was a technicality.
Yeah,
she wasn't wearing.
No. It was clean, which is what I consider more than some of the T-shirts that were brought for him to sign.
I've been to those kind of parties.
All right, now the other one are your tissue box. There was this very sweet young lady in a wheelchair with some cosplay Starscream. She wanted to get her home the sun. And she told this beautiful story about whatever her medical journey was. And apparently at some point in her history, she was very likely not going to live. And that was right around when Transformersprime was airing. And she said she discovered that show, and through that, and very much through Cullen's portrayal of Optimus, it kind of helped give her the strength to move on. And from that, what I gathered was that after that was when she started having enough mobility to move around in a wheelchair. And so one of the things she said was, "Now I can roll out."
Wow.
And, or no, it was, sorry. Peter told her roll out. And she just said, "I can." And everyone in the room just melted. It was.
That was one of the more touching ones. The two of them were very sad, so we're very happy. Peter went through a lot of emotions yesterday, and I think a lot of us, especially those of us who were there with him for longer, did as well. But it was a long day for us.
Yeah, I am so blessed to witness that. That's a memory that's going to stay.
Well, because I was going to say, it's like, I briefly told my story, but you folks, both of you, got to experience all of our stories in terms of helping Mr. Cullen. It's just like, I don't know if I can even comprehend that feeling of just taking it all in and processing it. Josh, you were telling me about like some of the first responders and military folks, and just this such wide swath. This fandom is so wide and deep and depth and breadth of it, and the generations and the iterations, and it's this guy, this particular person more than anybody else means so much to so many of us across the spectrum. It's just incredible.
There's not really a niche, it doesn't matter where you come from, what your profession is. You'd be amazed. There's people that you would see, like we had a gentleman who's in the Marine Corps, and he's relatively high up in his command position, and you would never know, just speaking with him regularly, that he is a dedicated Transformer fan. It's very interesting to see people who came from all walks of life and were still that heavily impacted by this phenomenon.
All right, follow that up, Daryl. Did you say the line, by the way?
Say the line, Daryl.
Let's talk Transformers.
Now we can start.
The meme is. Yeah, I really should have gone before you.
So mainly my high points are always toy related, which is not a surprise to anybody who knows me. But and genuinely, this show would have had my highlight been toy related if last night hadn't happened and our journey didn't take us into a specific room, which is now the highlight of this entire con. And this room, I believe, was, I mean, there's a kid in the room. I can't really get into it, but it's it was adult theme.
I see a lot of kids.
Some at the stables.
There are kids in the
We're all kids.
Yes. But this room was much more adult themed than I ever in my wildest dreams thought what I would see here at a Transformers convention. Yeah, that's, I mean, if you didn't have a chance to see this room or happen upon it as a thinking it's a parts party that you're just going to go in and check out some toys, which I mean, it's technically true. But
those kind of parts.
Oh, he just got it. He just got it.
You gotta stick around for transmissions after hours after this.
Yeah, but it definitely was an interesting sight, and it was a blast. But yeah, it was that's the highlight of my weekend so far. Yeah, and the excuses that came out of people's mouths to get out of that room was crazy. So, I mean, I just happened to get a phone call from your wife. I'm like, oh, I gotta go. Come, yeah, my wife is calling. You know, Charles, you know, that's, you know, thanks for calling me out. We know it's BS, man. We know it's BS. So, you know, but, yeah, that is, I mean, yes, I bought a very expensive G1 toy, but that's okay. This is my highlight. Just walking around the hotel aimlessly until I found the room.
This fandom always, you know, surprises, evolves, and transforms.
How many of those Ron Friedman panels? You were working on that for a while.
We start off as little babies, and then we transform into young adults, and then we transform into old people. And I love Ron Friedman.
He was great. He was great too.
Well, Daryl, since you brought it up, maybe we'll start on your side now. Toy highlights. So what? What did you pick up? What's the awesome? So yeah, I did happen upon. I mean, I often will forget that the gentleman that runs the Artfire 2000 site will only exclusively come to the shows. So as being Canadian, I'll frequent the Canadian show every single year. It's fairly for me to get to. But when I get a chance to see the Artfire 2000 booth, I'm drawn to it like a magnet. And I went there and just kind of beeline for this, you know, these Japanese exclusive figures that were in boxes that I never get to see. And I ended up buying in-box G1 Victory Leo. That was, I mean,
you should have 3 missiles. And the guy said he didn't have any. And then when I opened it up, it had 1. So I'm like, I don't need 1. So, you know, I was very happy, and it's gorgeous. So I'm very happy with my purchase. And, but it blew my budget. Like, the doors hadn't even opened and my budget was gone. So, you know, I just wandered the convention for the next 2 days.
I just wondered, did anybody here stay within their budget? Or,
What,
wow.
What's a budget?
Oh, you're doing it wrong, buddy. That's cheating.
I have $3.
Oh, okay.
What about you guys? The newbies?
What toys you got?
Yeah, I like
So, almost exclusively, I only bought MMC figures. Not necessarily deliberately, it's a matter of what I was able to find. I already mentioned I was looking for a Fans Toys Wait. Somebody got to it before I did. But I picked up, so I got 3 of them. I don't even remember what they are.
Nobody knows except for you.
Oh, Decepticons. Decepticons is the important one. That's what I was excited about. And
They had them in the room, man. I never saw them.
I found like 120 something Cybertron Scourge. Because my girlfriend's sister was like, Josh, you must find me a Cybertron Scourge. I never got that one as a child. I still blame my parents for this. Okay, I'll keep my eyes open. Then I tell her about it. And I might need a couple of paydays to pay that back. And then as I'm wandering around rooms on Friday night, I see one for 65, mint in sealed box. I'm like, I already got it for you. You're fine. Got this. So she's going to be very happy when I get home.
I managed to pick up the nice FFC farm. So I like that's a really nice figure. I picked up a couple of the Cyberverse class 2012 Transformersprime figures. You guys, it's freaking adorable. And I got one. Oh, I'm gonna get the Jurassic Park set. I like that. The Transformers.
Oh,
yeah. I think that one's really cool. I like them both. The redeco for the Tyrannosaurus and redeco.
You're done again? You didn't yet?
It's waiting. I have to.
I was gonna say convention's over.
Yeah.
Dealer is closed.
Oh no, she has connections.
Yeah.
Yes. Very good. You would think, but I think it's more that she's a volunteer for the show.
She's been to like Frank Tadaro's Christmas parties.
Hey,
She knows everyone.
You just gotta live in California. I also go to, I haven't been going to conventions for that long, but I go to a large quantity. So you see the same people over and over again. Like, oh, you remember that time? Yeah, I do.
Well, you're like an accidental Transformers influencer. Like you're friends with everybody.
Oh no. I don't
just
stop
like
talking. I don't know. I just apparently there's something that I don't know, and that's astounding on my end. But so
So I got me some toys. I didn't bring all of them as on the audio you hear me shuffling around. Oh, that's what that is. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Yes, my friends, it is. All my friends are like this. I can see behind the table. It's not what he's saying. But no, so this is kind of like a big reveal for members of my audience that are either like here or watching on the transmissions live stream. I got the last of the Siege mold sideswipe Lambo Rangers I've been looking for. I don't remember when I started collecting this mold, but somewhere along the way, I started picking up Siege sideswipe molds. And this is the, he's what, Covert Clone sideswipe or some such. It's the G2 deco. But he was part of like an Amazon 2-pack that wasn't hard to find up until like it clearanced out and disappeared before I even started collecting the mold, and then it became very hard to find. I have now all of the Siege sideswipe molds. So from like Siege sideswipe all the way up through Clampdown and everything in between, including Gigawatt, who is a sideswipe.
So how many does that bring you to?
12.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's a lot, but this guy has been eluding me for a while, and I got a really good deal on him. I'm very satisfied. So now, as one of the things we come to conventions for, this collection is now complete. I hope they don't make any. What's that? They have the Battle Master. Yeah. Sweet. Yeah. So actually, I ended up buying the whole Alpha Strike counter force. So I've got what is his name? Slam Dance. Thank you.
I was looking for the Phantom Strike Squadron counter to that because I'm a secret one.
Yeah.
So I've been dying for that Skywarp, and I only saw one. I've been looking for one. Like they're expensive, and I get that, but this one was short. So if you know anybody who's looking to get rid of a Phantom Strike Squadron, yeah.
So what's the best of the 12? What's your favorite one?
I like Blue Deep Cover, the Netflix one, because like I don't really care about Sideswipe as a character, but I love fiddling with this.
Sunstreaker is better, of course.
Sure, of course, yeah, definitely. But I like the colors on it, and with the Blue Deep Cover, I'm a sucker for that shade of blue. And the color combination of like the blue, black, and gray with a flash of silver in the battle damage, that's like the only figure of any of that WFC line where he actually wears the battle damage well. Because like the silver kind of like cuts across the front of his hood, and it just looks like the paint is skimmed off. It's a really cool effect. And also have a special place for it because it's the first one I got and actually kind of kicked off all this nonsense. So yeah, I guess I gotta give a shout out to my buddy Nemesis Slime for saying like, hey man, I see it here in the store. I know you like it. Do you want it? I'm like, sure, yeah, whatever. He gives it to me, and now I got like so many Pokemon, I gotta catch them all. And but it got me thinking. I was inspired by a purchase that Jeremy had made earlier. He's just got off camera, but he got a reissue Stepper, and I love that Transformers collection storybook box thing. And I've got so many side swipes. I had to get found myself a reissue like literally on my last leg around the floor. So now I actually have a relatively minty G1 sideswipe to go with my more contemporary sideswipe. So it's all sideswipe all the time.
Nice.
You don't even like sideswipe. No. Again, Sunstreaker's better, and yeah, I just
it happens.
Don't care. It's like, give me my rocket back now. But yeah, no. Oh yeah, and I got myself a kitty ears Soundwave again for plushie.
You want to talk to anybody?
I'm all about that soft Soundwave content.
Well, for me, it wasn't a big toy show this year for me, but I did this afternoon. I was walking around. I did see a little known figure known as Straxus. Anybody heard of Straxus?
Yes.
So there was a
New age Straxus. Nice.
Oh, no. So yeah, so this was actually a Transformers United Straxus.
Okay.
So I think this one it was $45, and then I was walking around and I saw it somewhere else for $75. So I was pretty happy. It felt like I got a little bit of a deal, maybe, but I was willing to pay it. But I picked it up, and I'm a big fan of the comics, so having the character from back in the '80s, the Marvel comics, was maybe if I get to a show and Bob Hansen gets there, I'll have him sign that.
Might be not. Just for the LA one.
Okay, well, I don't know if I'll get out to that one, but that's something to keep on.
Got Orlando coming up.
Yeah.
I mean, folks that are watching at home on the live stream weren't here in the room when Colin and Dan announced TFCON Orlando. Oh, it's on Twitter right
now. Oh, yeah.
I'd say at the very least, because I have to be. I was hoping that somebody got a pic of like the first time they showed the graphic, because I was going to retweet it, and I'm just sitting there, I'm like, come on. And then finally they put the graphic. I immediately texted Ant. I'm like, my friend.
Yeah. All right, diecast.
All right, so I didn't expect to buy that much.
because a lot of times when I come to these conventions, I just like to see what's out, see them on display, and kind of plan my purchases, especially with like test shots and all that stuff. So I'm planning for the future when I come to these things, just to see what I like. But I always get some exclusives. So I got the Delta Magnus. I got the Steeljaw, which is the one I knew coming to the show that I wanted, which is amazing. Then I saw the Sunstorm Seeker mold from Make Toys at TF stores, and because I got Sunstorm, I had to get the other two.
Ion Storm.
Yeah, so I got the purple and the blue one as well.
Yeah.
And then today, when I went to the RoboSyn booth, I've always eyed that Optimus Prime.
Big bucks. Big bucks.
Base that they're going to be releasing that they showed today at the table. It's not official. It's not official yet. So it's supposed to talk. Get those exclusives. Don't tell anyone else. But it may or may not work with Alexa, and that was kind of like the additional thing to like, I need that Optimus Prime now. So TF Source had a sale on it on their website, which is like $7.99. And RoboSyn also said that once that collector's one is done, because now they're releasing one that's a little bit smaller. So the bigger one is the collector's one, and once that's done, they're not making anymore. So I knew I had to like pull the trigger now and get one before I'm not able to get it. But so that was a big show purchase. But thankfully I was able to buy it online, even though I consider it a show purchase because it would have been hard to take on the plane to get home. So it just worked out better with shipping that I'm sending it home.
Who here has a RoboSyn? We have a RoboSyn. You guys like them?
I have a fundamental problem with it. I mean, it's the fact that I can't display it in robot mode without it being on is a big problem for me.
Well, how about you get a stand?
The stand will solve that, yes. But then it also creates a very, very large footprint for it. So yeah, the Alexa thing is a big plus. But I'm not going to constantly talk to it. So
what is the reason that it can't stay in robot mode?
Because it's the servos, which are
holding
60,
it up.
60 servos, I think you said. Right? They all need power all the time.
So when it's on in robot mode, it's always moving, so it'll just breathe.
Yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
if you turn it off,
Yeah.
Okay.
it has to happen.
Yeah. So
Just like all of us, we got to expend energy just to stand up.
Yeah.
It's truly sentient.
I had friends in line that I met at this convention who were kind of talking me into the RoboSyn. So
I actually wasn't.
you guys are pushers.
I wasn't intending to get one, but I was at San Diego Comic-Con this year, so I did that. And Hasbro was running trivia at the booth, and it was free to compete in the trivia. And the grand prize for winning was a RoboSyn signed by Peter Cullen.
Oh.
So I happened to won one.
Wow.
Humble brag.
So because otherwise I wasn't able to have that. So I was super excited to get to have the RoboSyn and play with it and everything.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. I'm really glad I have it.
So what character are you guys hoping that RoboSyn is going to come out with next year?
I heard they did that voice trailer that makes it sound like a bumblebee. But
That'd be boring. But likely.
I think it'd be fun to have
We pushed them on it. We pushed them on it today, and they were given no hints at all. But
Sunstreaker would be much cooler.
I mean,
the transforming jet that is on a stand and it can transform on the stand would be amazing.
Well, you know what would be cool is if they released a Megatron and you could like link them up so like have choreographed battles.
Yeah.
Like that would be cool. So that the input was going to both of them at the same time, so Optimus would throw a bunch of Megatrons and go back like this. Or something like that. I think that'd be a lot of fun to do.
Because exactly what the world needs right now is like a super smart AI robot that turns into a gun.
It's an upside down submarine.
So upside down submarine, yeah.
It's a submarine.
Yeah.
It's not a gun.
I have my submarine necklace right here.
Well, I mean, we had seen the prototype before the Robus and Prime was announced. The prototypes had been floating around online. We talked about them on our podcast, and we had seen there was another one that was, it was a couple of years ago.
There was a Constructicon, I think.
Yeah, there was. It looked like it was a scrapper. Backhoe that did the same thing. So I mean, they already have the design out there. I mean,
So fully combining sentient.
yeah, the devastator that combines on its own and stands up.
Now that's more of a problem.
That would be $10,000.
That would be like police equipment. Demonstrator, merge for the kill, knock the door down.
I mean, we could move into, we often, in these panels, often take some questions from the audience as well, like if anybody's got some questions. And we do often, we'll answer podcast related questions. If you guys want to ask us anything specific about the show itself, we can, like what we've done here at the show, or, our show specifically. If anyone's got any of those, but we'll, just come up with the mic if you want. We'll just continue BSing up here. If anyone's got anything like that.
Yeah, I can talk about existential dread and ennui as much as Dave wants. I don't know if that's what we've done.
I mean, I'm just curious, for show of hands, how many are planning to go to either LA or Orlando?
I'm planning on both.
So I got two hands.
Oh, we're doing 2 hands. There you go. We got one in the back.
When is LA?
March 11th and 12th. Yeah, it'll be at the Burbank Hotel, the same one they did it at last time, earlier this year. It was a lot of fun. I highly recommend going if you're going to go to a con, because all of the actors live out there, and all of the writers live out there. So it's a 10-minute drive or a 20-minute drive as opposed to flying 4 hours across the country.
So easy to get them all out. Cool.
Yeah, we had quite the turnout. Here there were 4 guests plus Peter Cullen. I think in LA earlier this year, we had like 30 guests.
Oh, wow.
Now I can run them in shit.
Oh, that was just the warforcybertron. Okay, no, there were like 40 guests.
Well, I have a question to everyone here. Like, how did you guys feel about the attendance at this one? Because this felt like crazy. I went to we went to TFCON Toronto a few months ago, and it was still kind of it was good, but it did not feel like super crowded. This one, it felt like we're post pandemic at this point. Everyone's back. Everyone is here and hanging out, and it felt full. So I mean, of course, on the flip side, there's a little bit of anxiety there. This concern, if you're not used to the crowds coming back, I wore masks the whole time, walking around the show. Just,
In 2 months, we may not feel post-pandemic.
Yeah.
I think genuinely, because today's crowd was very much what we typically see at TFCON. Even LA was very busy, but I genuinely think it was Peter Cullen's attendance that just, and because most of the people I saw, even the people who came through Peter Cullen's line yesterday, they had on those purple Saturday only wristbands, was most of who I saw yesterday, especially the people who aren't typically a part of the TFCON attendance. I had people coming through the line yesterday that were like, oh, I've only ever seen the Vapors. You don't get a lot of those people at TFCON because it's a generally, inclusive transformer. If they've seen the movies, they're more likely to go to a typical con than a transformer-centric con or convention. So I think it really was Peter Cullen's attendance, because today, usually at TFCON, the Saturday to Sunday ratio is very similar. It's different, but it's not vastly different. And yesterday's attendance to today's attendance was vastly different. And the only thing that changed was Peter Cullen was here yesterday and not today.
I mean, I didn't look at any of the lines. I didn't get to go down and see where Peter Cullen was.
You didn't want to.
No. but I was in the room where David Cave was, had a lineup going on, and his lineup was insane, right? So he was all, as Peter Cullen was a huge draw, as he should be. David Cave is no slouch. Right?
He was in LA too. He had a long line the entire time.
Yeah.
I know it's like they set that up for years.
We got a question from you off the back.
So it's not even a question. It's more of a hypothetical. I was talking with someone out there, and we randomly came up with this. You know how James Earl Jones just retired?
Yeah. What do you think the possibilities of Peter Cullen getting the same treatment?
You know, I think eventually, but not in the near future. That
Yeah.
role is far too near
Yeah.
and dear to his heart. And if you got to see
Yeah,
Cullen
I'm just
again,
saying,
it's very
you think that's like a sunsetting of it, like, let's just do this. Let's not, because every time that anyone else plays it, mind you, I'm looking forward to Alan Tudyk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way more than I should be. Because that guy's in everything, and thanks to that, I'm now making an Alan Tudyk toy collection. So I have to buy a little chicken.
So you got a little pace.
Yeah, I
Right?
got to buy a whole bunch of stuff at once. Yeah, and anyway, that was the question. Do you think think that would be a good thing, or is that just going to perpetuate the him forever?
You know, I think Peter Cullen will do it as long as he's
No, that's what James Earl Jones did.
Yeah.
He just hit the point where he's like, it's not going to last forever. Let's do this.
Jumping off that, I think Peter Cullen will do it as long as he is invited.
Yeah.
I think part of the reason we don't see him so much hear him so much anymore is that whatever projects are being produced are, for example, with the Netflix one, they're going with voice actors that are not in that are using yeah, exactly. This is why it takes so long for us to release episodes, because I can't talk, so I just have to spend all my time editing it to make it sound like I can talk.
He's so
That's true.
So to springboard off that, like, do you guys want to see like more shows without Optimus? Because at a certain point, you gotta.
I think yes, there's a chance for new generation Transformers, but I'm still comfortable with the idea of doing an Optimus Prime as long as they make it their own, right? I'm happy seeing, all of us love Optimus as a villain, but Optimus is a central part of the story, and if they want to continue telling it with the characters that we know and love, eventually getting a different actor as Optimus is going to have to be an option. But make it your own performance. Don't try and spring more off your phone, but that's not something physically.
I kind of want Transformers, but
Yeah,
that's
I think that would be great. And to say nothing about the ethical implications of like AI voice stuff and what rights you have to your likeness like that. That announcement about the James Earl Jones thing had a kind of made me weirdly uncomfortable. And so, like, in a sense, it's like I think once Mr. Cullen is done, that iteration is done. Now we're all crass and cynical, and I'm sure there will continue to be a host of imitators with continuing diminishing returns. But I like the perspective of new people with new takes and stories that don't even involve objects, like like you were saying, kind of like a Transformers What If type of thing. The Transformers universe is so vast. I mean, it's like one of like our most beloved comics is
There's options.
and there's so many folks that aren't the main cast, like whoever like your main seven is, whether we're Optimus, Megatron, Soundwave, Bumblebee, however far you want to go to that. There's such a deep cast that you don't need those folks. Like they could be on Mount Rushmore by themselves, and just you can tell compelling, interesting stories without those characters.
With regards to Stan, with regards to Peter Cullen as the person, I think he will move into. I've always felt this as I met him a while ago, and I always felt like he should move into more of a Stan Lee role in Transformers, where he's a figurehead, where he's not generally used, but he's seen everywhere. He's a human mascot if he wants that role. He goes to the conventions, he signs everyone's stuff, and then he's there. He does his, he waves his hand, he shakes the hands and waves and talks and tells the stories, and then he goes home with his big check, right? And that's and that's it. And he does that until he's ready to call it quits. Whether he can go and do the stuff in the video or the voice booth or not, is beside the point. But if he wants to, Transformers is always going to be his home, and he can come to a Transformers convention and get a big check forever.
Well, I think even when he cannot really extend and maintain the voice for long periods of time, he'll still come and be with the fans. He does genuinely enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
Hello. So my question is, so with since I know some of you guys have purchased their exclusives, do you plan on opening them, or do you plan on just like keeping them yourself? Because I bought the Delta magnets. I mean, yeah, and I was just playing with it. And I know it's expensive, but I'm having a blast with it. Yeah.
Diecast. That's for you, buddy.
We got box collector Civil War. I'm probably gonna leave Delta Magnus in the box for a little bit, just to see, like, it. I'm out of display space right now also, so I have to kind of, rearrange my setup and see what fits in and what doesn't. So I don't want to open anything now till I get that kind of straightened out. But all the other exclusives, like, yeah, I plan on opening right away.
So you're talking about the exclusive for this convention?
Yes.
Okay, because there was a Delta Magnus exclusive in 2019,
Okay.
which was a blue, like, Optimus Redeco. This one's the God Delta.
Yeah, I meant the God Delta. That's what I'm sorry.
I was like, wait,
Yeah.
which one is it?
Yeah, yeah, the God Delta. That's what I meant. Yeah, I have the God Delta. It's a really good figure. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So do we run it? I'm not a huge third party guy. So like, do we run into like box collectors? Like
Yes.
people just like have them in boxes, like
Yes.
they don't open them?
Me.
Oh yeah.
Down here.
Down here. Yeah. Sometimes it happens to us if we don't choose to.
You just pile up.
We buy them intending to play with them, but never get around to opening them. I might be telling you about myself. Mastermind Creations. I've never opened it. It's just sitting there. Why? It got brought home and put on a shelf because I really like the way it looked. Plus, it's got a window box. You open it up, you can see, right? That was going to be my next question because, like, I mean, as Hasbro is going more towards like windowless boxes, me as a box collector, I'm facing an existential crisis.
Sure.
Like, so, like, my Studio Series 86 array is all jacked up now. It's like I've got giant windows, I've got tiny windows with no plastic. Now I'm going to get like windowless boxes. It's just going to be a nightmare. But anytime I post about that, folks say, well, open up your toys and play with them. They're toys. So I do like I collect a lot of Star Wars Black Series. I collect a lot of G.I. Joe Classified Series. So I can snip that little teeny thin band of tape and pull it out and play with it and then put it back in the box and display it. So a lot of third-party stuff I see is just windowless boxes, like Chikara Masterpiece stuff. It's like I can't fathom the perspective of just putting a box that's literally a box with a picture of art on your shelf.
Well, a lot of that is because in Asia, if you go into a toy store, if you can see the toy, it's perceived as being for children. If it's a box with art, it's perceived as being for an adult. So that's why a lot of third party actually has, fully closed boxes because it's meant for adults. Even like, I think like MMC or what the ones that were doing the window boxes, they would actually do a window box for the US market, and over in Asian market, they would actually do a closed box.
The more you know.
And again, I got now against the boxes. I mean, I'm like, especially like I see that box are gorgeous, beautiful, terrific pieces. But yeah, it's like unless they're Super 7 and that's uncarded. Anyway, that's not the next. You have give me how this dish I've got myself into.
It's okay, it's okay. I don't know when the shit up either. All right, this is less of a question, but more of an idea that I have. And I'm just piggybacking off your what if Transformers idea, which this guy I see more as a Star Wars Clone Wars idea rather than what if. But this is typically a more interesting case. We really haven't scratched the surface on Transformers, on the Transformers franchise, especially on the exodus from Cybertron. We've only seen the fact that the Autobots and Decepticons take their fight to Earth, but that's in one fraction of the entire military. I mean, they scattered across the entire universe. That's a nice idea.
And I'll tell anybody who listens that I think we need at least a series or a movie realization of the Aligned Continuity novels. So Transformers Exodus and Exile, when we go to different planets, we see them interact with different civilizations and what the war does to those planets. And we see that in those novels, but they're not. A lot of people have read them. They're incredible books. Like not only are they cool Transformers novels, but they're amazingly written by very, very talented authors. So read them, and yeah, we should have more media based strictly on acceptance. What is it like on Earth, right?
What's it like on Earth? Exactly. Like there are other planets, and trust me, it gets worse.
Yeah, I agree that that would be great to explore. I mean, on the plane ride over here, I watched Buzz Lightyear, which was actually a really decent movie. And that was, kind of the whole, like, they were exploring, but they got stranded on the planet, and then, they basically colonized and made a life there. And I think that's a great idea for another Transformers, story or something, to where you have these, new characters, new everything, just something brand new, and colonize a planet after they left Cybertron or something. I think that would really work.
Thank you very much. Also, if anyone has, I don't even care if anyone's in here as a writer for a TV show, make that idea happen. That's a golden opportunity.
Great question. So let me throw some kerosene on this fire over here. How do we feel about squishy humans in Transformers? Are we human? Yes. Are we humans? No. I've had a lot of discussions with a lot of my friends recently. I got a thumbs down, double thumbs down.
No,
I got a shaky wavy hand over there. I got thumbs down. But with Earthsmart being imminent, it really kind of brings back up to the forefront the debate of whether we need humans in Transformers or not.
Well, I wonder what the temperature is. If I can, that's one of my hobby horses for the Bay movies is that I don't have a problem with humans being there, but humans should not be the main characters. The Transformers are the main characters. They should be the stars of the show. The humans can be the side characters. I mean, they're there. I mean, also, I think having the human presence gives you a sense of the Transformer scale and how you can relate to how they're relating to people. But it's the Transformers. It's their story. It's not Mark Wahlberg's story. It's not Shia LaBeouf's story. It's Optimus Prime's story. It's Bumblebee's story. It's Starscream's story. It's Megatron's story. And I think you should have the Decepticons should be as much narratively driving the story as the Autobots. It's not. I mean, Autobots good, Decepticons bad, sure. But I think we've had lots of Transformer stories that have gotten beyond that. Like you get into the Decepticons as much as you get into the Autobots. All of them should be front there, and that's why I'm actually excited about Earthspark, because I see, some of the previews of Earthspark. You see Megatron and Optimus working together, and there's a question like, what's going on, and why are some of the Decepticons calling Megatron a traitor? That's something that we have. I mean, we saw a little bit of the IDW comics. We haven't seen that before in visual media, so looking forward to it.
I mean, definitely with kids, they need to, if it's a TV show primarily for kids, they need to have humans and adults and kid characters in it, because it humanizes the Transformers, and it makes the kids be able to relate to it a lot more. But if you were going to an adult style, or even, the big screen, the movies, stuff like that, it's less of a need and less of a need to more prominently display them, like Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, and when we first see Transformers, it is targeted towards, kids. So we see that human element that's necessary to create a narrative that people can relate to. Kids can relate to. We've seen a couple shows that have branched off of that. Cyberverse had pretty much no human interaction, and then Transformers Prime started with the side characters, then branched. I mean, you hardly see humans at all, or three. So there are pieces of media that have done it well.
And I'm going to sort of branch off that these concepts and like really dig into what the issue with humans in Transformers is. Because the issue isn't humans. The issue is the writing and the characters. Because a lot of Transformers cartoons just throw human children into the story and do little or nothing to justify why human children are involved in this giant robot civil war. And you have something like the show we talk about is Transformercybertron, where the dub tries to make them have a reason to be there by saying like the kids, only human children can hear the omega frequency, which is completely an invention of the English dub. In Japan, they're just there with no explanation. And
You know, I was wondering how long it was going to take to start talking about Cybertron, which in took me less time to start talking about.
And we have something like Prime where the kids are involved because they just happened upon the Transformers and the Autobots are taking them into custody to protect them from Decepticons who might go after them. And they just kind of stick around, like as an intro. Yeah. It makes sense why the kids want to stick around. It doesn't make sense how the Autobots would let them stick around once they make it clear that the humans are not really in danger. And in fact, later on, they become in danger because they stuck around with the Autobots so long, and then the Decepticons are able to use the humans, track down where the Autobots are, blah, 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 blah.
You know, you're talking about Yes.
But the thing is, like, we can have good, interesting characters, or we can have, like, as you're talking about over there with appealing to children, because Transformers frequently, especially in animation, is a kids show. We have Beast Wars, where there are no humans. We have instead within the Transformers cast, we get our relatable human characters. We get the different generations, like with Cheetor as the Kid Appeal character. Say what you will about whether Cheetor is a character people like or not, he fills that role and he fills it well. He does what the story is trying to do. I would venture to guess that most children watching the show liked Cheetor, and most adults watching the show probably didn't as much. And that's just sort of still going. Yeah. I think I've made the point. I just don't really have a conclusion to the point.
This poor gentleman's been standing here.
Yeah, he's got an awesome shirt. I love that shirt.
Yes.
So how well does Sideswipe sit in that chair?
He's not an athlete, but he needs an athletic supporter. What most deluxes fit on Starscream's throne just fine, but what the deal is with the Sideswipe mold is he's got the louvers on the back of his legs there, so he ends up just kind of sliding off.
And are you saying he has fat legs?
But it's, he's got some serious cankles, unfortunately. Because he'll just kind of slip right.
You got nice thick
Yes. I mean, I was futzing around with it, but I realized I was making too much noise. But like, I got him for a couple of photos I took earlier, where like he can, if I extend his legs out just right, and then say a little prayer, and then there he goes.
All right.
It happened. Nobody breathed.
What about this Megatron? Is it both forms? What do you got up here?
You can't ask him to transform.
I didn't know it was bringing
Yeah.
to the podcast.
Yeah, well, this was my purchase at the very end, walking around the dealer room. I got this for $25, and the reason I wanted it was to display it in gun mode. Yeah. Because, I mean, obviously that's not a thing that, Hasbro is willing to do anymore. So these gun Transformers are getting rarer and rarer. So it's just a nice little, display piece for my shelf that I need to redo.
Is it both forms?
Yeah. This is the classics, based on the classics, but in the US they did it as almost like a Nerf style gun. So just to get it through, and be able to be sold in the US, but in the Asian market, they actually did, a little bit more traditional Megatron colors. So
If you have a chance, if you ever see the US version, I think it's definitely worth picking up. This is a great Megatron. And the Nerf colors actually work for it, but I've always wanted one of the imported ones that I could display just because of the rarity.
No, that was better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
It's called-
Yeah.
Speaking of gun transformers, there was some guy in one of the rooms last night, and I think he had it on the dealer floor as well. He had a stock of these Japanese water pistols that are just Megatron's gun mode. Like,
And you didn't tell me about them? I thought I said, no, you didn't.
They were like $175.
Yes.
Okay, I don't feel as bad now.
It's an expensive water pistol.
And they're super illegal. Because they look just like a real gun. But it's on this work.
Yeah,
The water guns are legal, but the real guns are illegal.
That's America for you.
What? I think we're at about time, unfortunately, because we've had such a good discussion. But I think we're running on late. So why don't we just wrap up by if everyone gets a plug in for their podcast, and then we'll close out TFCON Chicago. So maybe 23 years into iPads, that's maybe we should start with you.
I'll go. Seniority leads.
Seniority. Thanks, Brian Kilby, because I've only been doing this about 10 years with Brian Kilby. So
There was a version where you were like the young guy.
yeah,
Freestyle.
I was the young guy, and now I'm in my 40s. So
Used to be Baby Spice, now it's just old status.
but yeah, you can check out our podcast, tfradio.net. And then we're live every Wednesday at 8:30 Eastern time on YouTube. So you just search Radio Free Cybertron on YouTube. And pre-show starts at like 8 o'clock, where we talk about, or they talk about, usually about Star Trek, and I get left out. But go ahead, Mike.
You can follow my podcast, Mike Cyber Radio, on pretty much every platform you get podcasts. You can follow me on social media. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm at Mike Cyber Radio. The spelling on my name is S-E-I-B-E-R-T, this is the way it sounds. I also have a separate Twitter account for my friend Starscream's Throne that is at ScreamerChair86, where I do stuff like this, where I put things in Starscream's Throne. It's a lot of fun. Thanks for coming on, and thanks for having me. Oh, make good choices just in case I don't get to say it later.
Yeah, so like I said, Josh is do more than meets the ear, so I believe that's pretty much more than meets the ear podcast on everything except Twitter, which is empty.
Yeah, on Twitter, we're at MTMT here. Spotify, more than meets the ear, and various others. We're either MTMT here podcast or just MTMT here. But you can definitely find the Twitter where I post utter nonsense.
And then I'm also with the Swerves Bar podcast. I believe that's at Swerves Bar podcast. I really don't interact with that much. I'm not, this one I Twitter expert, but the other one I don't. And then we also do I think it's called Transformer, like D&D. It's Homebrew Transformer D&D. It's a lot of fun. I think that one's on Spotify too. And then you can find me pretty much everywhere at A Road Trish.
How can you be at a bar? You're too young for that.
You know what? It's a bar on different planet. They have different rules over there.
Daryl, you want to rep Transmissions?
Transmissions Podcast at TRNS Missions. We couldn't get them on the 8th. I think it was a transmission shop that has it. So, yeah, it's transmissionspodcast.com. We have the website. So
With the A.
that has the yep. We're on Facebook, Instagram. Does that still get used? Did somebody post on Instagram for us still?
We still have the password, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we post on YouTube now. So at our 500th episode, we went completely video. So we are completely good podcast now. And that's that's pretty fun. But yeah, you can find me at on Twitter as well at Cybertron Beast. And yeah, I just post pictures of Transformers and comics. I buy a lot of comic books too, so yeah, not just Transformers. I do a bunch of crazy crap, and every now and then I put things like this because I'm a little bugger too.
And you guys are also all guests on childreofprimus.com, which is our podcast, which is being live broadcast right now. So we just plugged you for our 3 viewers who are watching. But so thank you for this panel. If anybody wants to check us out, we stream every Sunday nights. So we're going to stream tonight, childreofprimus.com or on YouTube and everywhere else.
Oh, all right, cool. You should talk to us before the show started. You could have been up here.
I had fun doing it this way. Notice I got my questions in.
Yeah. That was my deal too. It's like I used to be a heckler, and like these guys would be like, "Come on up." I'm like, no. But this time it's like, no, I'm gonna crash. But yeah, I like that seat. I think that's a good place to be.
Yeah.
And I'm Charles, aka Big C. I also I'm at Twitter too. I don't use it that often. It's at CP Shelton. Also want to mention we have to do a live play RPG podcast as well, Empire Rust. That's an awesome Transformers role play game podcast that's run by our editor and producer Mike Ordway. So he was at Baltimore. He's not here today, but you definitely want to give him a shout out. He did a lot of work and continues to do a lot of work for Transmissions and also his awesome RPG podcast. Great job. And he used to use the tagline, he's the first and only Transformers RPG podcast. We can't use that anymore because so it's great that we got more
More is better.
podcasts out. That's awesome. So maybe there'll be a crossover in the future. Well, I'm putting it out there. I'm putting the energy out there in the universe, and we'll see if we can make that happen. Thanks everyone, and thanks to everyone here who stuck for hung out at the bitter end of TFCON Chicago 2022. Thanks for really making use of your ticket. Yeah, exactly. And yeah.
Thanks to you guys.
And we'll see everyone at the next show.
I'll see you.
See you in Orlando or LA.
We're on the internet.
Yeah, we're done.
We did it.
No.
I've been unread for like 20 minutes.